Yeah, it's our off. Today we have another Pokemon X and Y moveset video. So today we're going to be going over Cacturne set. And no, this is not the Pokesash Swords Dance set. And no, it's not the Substitute Life Orb set. This is, in fact, a Choice Banded Cacturne, which may seem like it's not that different, but you guys will see why. Or maybe you already see. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, so, obviously the item is Choice Band. What I just said. Your ability is going to always want to be a Water Absorb. Well, yes, Sandvale is technically legal, and you can have a Hippopotas, or whatever it's called, on your team, and that's perfectly okay. Sandvale, at least for me, because I'm the unluckiest person on the planet when it comes to Pokemon, just never helps me out. I tried it before, no. Water Absorb is what you're going to want all the time, in case you run into choice Pokemon that are, like, if they're scarfed into water, a water type move or specs or whatever. You guys get the idea. You're going to be able to Water Absorb, come in, and then kill them. Or whatever else. So, yeah, Water Absorb will definitely help you out a lot more than Sandvale, even if you're on a sand team, in my opinion. Next, we're going to go ahead and go over the EVs, because the EVs are fairly simple. Now, the EVs can be changed in a couple different ways. You can just have it like I have with Max Speed, Adamant Nature, or you can go ahead, if you want, and put a Jolly Nature there so that you're even faster. Although at 55 you're not going to be outspeeding too much unless they're also uninvested, which is what I have it for in the first place. Jolly will help you outspeed a little bit more, but I don't think it's really necessary. Plus you want to be hitting as hard as possible, and considering the move you're going to be hitting with the most is Sucker Punch, your speed won't matter too much unless something else has priority, in which case you probably just want to switch. Alright, next you're definitely going to want Max Attack, because you are banded, and you want to hit as hard as possible, which is why I carry the Adamant Nature. But if you would like, and you don't care so much about speed, but you want to be able to take one hit, at least most likely, you might want to do this and run max HP, so that way you might be able to take an Ice Beam, or a non-stab Ice Beam or something, and then kill something with a Seed Bomb. So let's say a Simipour that's like scarfed instead of specs hits you with an Ice Beam and your max HP, you'll be able to live. But generally, you're just going to want max speed. Although I can see why you would run max HP. I had it on earlier. I think max speed is a little bit more helpful, though. So, that's the EVs. They're pretty simple. Run Adamant or Jolly, depending on what set you're running. If you're running max HP, definitely run Adamant. If you're running max speed, you can run Jolly, although I'd still recommend Adamant. Next, we have the moves. Sucker Punch. You're obviously going to want Sucker Punch. It's Cacturne's only physical Dark Stab, at least only good physical Dark Stab. It probably gets like Thief or something else, but considering this isn't a Specs Cacturne, you don't want Dark Pulse because, yeah, not helpful on a Choice Banded set, as well as this will give you priority, which Cacturne desperately needs, with that base 115 attack and terrible 55 speed. You're definitely going to want some priority here, and Sucker Punch does the job, and it does it well. A Stab Sucker Punch will OHKO quite a few things in the tier. And one of our moves, which I'm assuming you can figure out which one it is, will help you out with Sucker Punch quite a bit. Next, we have Seed Bomb. Again, with the obligatory stab, it doesn't get Leaf Blade, because I think that would be a bit weird, looking at what Cacturne's design is. And you don't want, like, Bullet Seed. Well, yes, technically Bullet Seed can be a bit stronger. It's not going to help you out that much more than Seed Bomb, and Seed Bomb is quite a bit more reliable, so I'm just saying go with Seed Bomb in every scenario when you have the option to go with Bullet Seed or whatever else. The last move on the set is Super Power. You have this mainly for steel types or things that you're 4 times super effective against, as well as occasionally something that's weak to Sucker Punch will want to, you know, not attack you because they know you have Sucker Punch, so you can hit them with the Super Power alternatively, and that will generally hit them pretty hard. So yeah, that's why I have it on here. But there are a couple alternatives. In case you run into dual screens all the time, I guess you can run Brick Break, although I would not recommend it, seeing as its other competitors, being Super Power and Drain Punch, are quite a bit more effective. So you can always run Drain Punch if you want some recovery on this set. Now, I don't think it's not necessary, because you will always you're almost always going to only take damage from hazards or die in one hit, or you'll be at like very little HP, so it doesn't really matter if you have Drain Punch, unless you get off multiple Drain Punches to the point where you're able to live another singular hit. I just think that Superpower is quite a bit more reliable because it hits way harder. Another option that you have is Low Kick. Low Kick is another fighting type move, although it will be based on weight, so you're not guaranteed that it'll hit really hard. There are a couple things out there that are normal types or whatever that aren't going to get hit hard by Low Kick at all just because they don't weigh anything. So I think Low Kick is less reliable, although if you do not want the stat drops, you can definitely go with that. Your next option would be Poison Jab, which is not a fighting type move, but it will help you hit a couple things in the tier, namely the fairy types like, I guess, Wigglytuff, and what's the other thing, Slurpuff? Because Slurpuff, I do see it as a bit of a problem in the tier right now. Now, generally, I do have things to deal with it, namely things with the Will-O-Wisp, or if it's the special very bulky things. Cough, cough, Dusclops. Oh, jeez. I'm not gonna go into that right now. But anyways, that is your other alternative for Superpower. Poison Jab. Oh, I guess it gets payback as well, but again, with Sucker Punch is way better because of priority and such. Now, your last move is very, very, very important. It's Switcheroo, and you may think it's just, I mean, a lot of other things can do this, right? Well, the reason why it's so important on Cacturne is because you have Sucker Punch, and a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna set up Cold Mine so he can't Sucker Punch me, lol! And since you're banded, if you go for Sucker Punch, you're kind of screwed, although you can play mind games with them, because a lot of people will just Sucker Punch like twice, and then start going for a different attack, seeing that they're not gonna stop going for Calm Mines. But since you're locked into Sucker Punch, like, I've had this happen before. I went for 7 Sucker Punches, and then on the 8th one, they're like, he has to save this Sucker Punch for later on. He's obviously not going to go for it while I was banded, so I had to go for my 8th Sucker Punch, and he died, and it was the best thing ever. Yeah. Anyways, so you're going to need Switcheroo, because Switcheroo will either lock them into an attacking move that you can live, or, alternatively, it will lock them into a non-attacking move, which will, and then at that point you'll be able to take them out with C-Bomb and Superpower, or switch out into something else that can handle it more capably. So Switcheroo is definitely an important move and an interesting way to help Cacturne out quite a bit, because the Sucker Punch mind games are real when you use Cacturne, or really anything that obviously gets Sucker Punch. So you're definitely going to want something to be able to counteract that, or maybe you don't care and you're just going to stick with the Focus Sash set, and that's fine with me. But I love this set. It's been working out great for me, although there have been a number of times when people are just like, oh, let me just U-turn because I doubt he'll go for a Sucker Punch, when I obviously had to. And then I end up going for Switcheroo because it's like, they're going to go for a Roost or whatever. There's no reason for them to go for U-turn, and they do. So just keep in mind that you will have to think quite critically all the time with this set, unless you're already locked into a move, for that matter. But it's definitely a really fun set. I enjoy using it, and it's something a little bit different. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any suggestions that you would like to change about the set, leave that down in the comments. If it works out for you, you could comment about that as well. If you enjoyed the set, then go ahead and leave a like on the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!